Hello there YouTube, welcome along to Steve's coronavirus update. Could there be a series 2? That is the question that I'm literally asking right now in this video. The last time I did a coronavirus update for my YouTube channel SteveOfficial was on the 22nd of July 2020. 2 months later, it is of course today, at the time of recording this, it is the 23rd of September 2020. At the time of recording this 2 months on, and I'm having to do another coronavirus update for my YouTube channel SteveOfficial, which is something really that I didn't really want to do. But of course, at the end of the day, like I say, my YouTube channel, it is kind of a very informative thing, you know. Obviously, I do talk about Apple, and I do talk about Sony and PlayStation. I do talk about Microsoft and Xbox. And obviously, I do want to kind of address my viewers with what's going on out there in the real world. Obviously, we are dealing with a pandemic right now, and we still are. You know, we have been dealing with a pandemic now for roughly around about 7 to 8 months at the time of recording this video. So this virus is not going to go away. This really is not going to go away at all. And it has been confirmed over the last couple of weeks that the UK is now seeing a rise in coronavirus cases. They are seeing a rise in hospital admissions because of the coronavirus. They are also they have technically said we are now in a second wave. Boris Johnson himself, the UK Prime Minister, has also said that we are in a second wave of COVID-19. And he also said that it was inevitable. Now, I'm just going to put it out there right now, okay? Yes, it could have been inevitable, of course. But at the same time, this could have easily been avoided. This really could have been easily avoided. You know? Because the problem is, and I'm pretty certain I've said this before during my coronavirus updates that I brought to you guys before. But I am pretty certain, I have even said this, that Boris is rushing the country back on its feet. You know, he wants people to get back to work. He wants people to get back into the offices. He wants kids and students to get back into school and colleges and universities. You know? And you know, he wants us to get back out there and start socialising with our friends again and going out to pubs, bars, restaurants, cinemas, all the other leisure areas where we can go to socialise with our friends, you know? And to be honest with you, it hasn't worked. It really has not worked, because otherwise by now we wouldn't be in a second wave of COVID. We wouldn't be seeing a rise in hospital admissions or a rise in cases every day, you know? And I don't think really Eat Out to Help Out, which was a scheme that was introduced in August, where customers who dined out at pubs, restaurants and all that, they got 50% off thanks to the government. That didn't help, really, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, it saved us, the diners, a lot of money in August, but it didn't help with the spread of COVID, you know? It really didn't. And it's also the government's mixed messaging in terms of, you know, especially to young people like me and maybe you guys watching this right now, you know, It doesn't help when the government are saying, go out, go and see your friends, go and socialise with them, go to a pub, go to a restaurant, here's 50% off on us, spend it on whatever you want, you know. Oh, and by the way, don't kill your nan, you know. Like, that right there is mixed messaging. It really, really is. Really, really, really is mixed messaging, you know. So, the government's handling of coronavirus has been an absolute abomination. It really, really has been an abomination, you know. And every single time I now see Boris or I see any of his cronies on TV, I literally, especially Matt Hancock, he's the worst. You know, I do genuinely think to myself, what are these clowns doing on my TV? Or what are these clowns doing being interviewed by a news broadcaster? You know? Honestly. It was only a few weeks ago that Matt Hancock literally stood on live television and blamed people like me and people like you for going out and getting tested for coronavirus when you didn't have any symptoms whatsoever and you were wasting coronavirus tests. Pretty much. You know? And I just think to myself, well, we're not wasting coronavirus tests. If we have symptoms of COVID, right, a cough, a cold, anything like that, any symptom for coronavirus, what is the first thing we're going to do? We're going to call up 119 and book a test to get a test so that we can rule out that it's not COVID. You know, if it's COVID, we self-isolate for 14 days or 10 days or whatever it is now. You know? But if it's not COVID, then we're safe. We can just assume that it's the seasonal flu, you know, and we can just go about our daily lives but just keep our distance from everyone else so that they don't catch your seasonal flu, you know. So yeah, so to be honest with you, yeah, people are going to go out and get tests. Some of them are going to come back negative. Not every single one of them has to come back with a positive outcome to the point where you have to self-isolate. It is literally true. It is literally true. You know, there are going to be negative people out there, but they still get tested just so that they can rule out COVID. You know, there are people out there that are going to get tested. The test is going to come back positive, and then they're going to self-isolate. You know, so we're not wasting tests. We're not. We genuinely are not wasting tests. I don't know what the government think we are. Literally. They think, oh, you know, get yourself tested. You're able to do that now. Oh, okay, well, I've got no symptoms. But you know what? Let me swab it up my nose. Let me swab a stick round the back of my throat. You know, send it off just for a laugh. We're not doing this for a laugh, government. We really are not. We're literally doing this to save our lives and save everyone else's lives. Honestly, I really don't understand it. I really, really don't. I really, really, really don't understand it at all. You know, but it's just ridiculous. It really is. Anyway, there is an update that I have got to bring to you guys watching this. Because Boris has yesterday announced some new lockdown measures. Now these measures are set to be in place now for up to the next 6 months. So that's October, November, December, January, February, March. So these will now last right up until March 2021. These new lockdown measures. Hopefully, by March 2021, we may have a vaccine. Who knows? You know. So we're going to start with weddings and funerals. Alright? So wedding ceremonies and receptions will be capped. Oh, you know what? This really does frustrate me too. Wedding ceremonies and receptions will be capped at 15 people from Monday. So you guys watching this, if you're watching this in real time, today is Wednesday the 23rd of September 2020, right? When is, just out of curiosity, when is Monday? Okay, Monday the 28th, right? So that is half a week, Boris. Half a week. The people can still get married with up to 30 people, Boris. Literally, I don't understand it. You know, the cases are rising. The hospital admissions are rising. Lockdown measures are being introduced. But, oh no, don't worry guys. Carry on as you are. These all start from goddamn Monday. Monday. It's ridiculous. It really is driving me insane. Every single time. It's the same with quarantine measures when you go abroad. You know, they'll announce on a Wednesday. Oh, by the way, if you go to Portugal now, you're fine. But come back on Saturday at 4 AM, you know, then you have to self-isolate for 14 days. It's ridiculous. No wonder why our infection rate's gone back up. Because at the end of the day, Boris, you and your cronies have done everything wrong. You know, you've introduced quarantine measures a couple of days before it even happens. Not with immediate effect. It just happens. Literally. I really don't understand. What is it? Literally. What? I don't get it. I really don't get it. At all. You know. Go to Portugal today, yeah, you'll be fine, don't need to quarantine. But if you come back, well, yeah, if you come back from Portugal on Saturday at 4 AM, you need to self-isolate. No wonder why our infection rate has gone back up. Really. And you know, it's the same with weddings and, you know, with wedding receptions and ceremonies from Monday. You know? So technically, you're allowing us more time to spread the virus. More time to increase the infection rate. More time for hospital admissions. I don't understand this. Honestly, from Monday, from Thursday, from Saturday at 4 AM. Why not with immediate effect? We are in a goddamn pandemic. Or what? Do you want to see other people die? You know, do you want to see other people get sick from COVID? Oh, honestly, it really does frustrate me. It really does. Anyway, wedding ceremonies and receptions will be capped at 15 people from Monday. So currently, you can get married or have a reception with up to 30 people. So it's being reduced by half. From Monday, the 28th of September. Anyway, so this is what Boris said. Now is the time, and then also as well, 30 people will still be allowed to attend funerals. Okay? So this is what Boris said. Now is the time to tighten up the rule of 6. I'm afraid that from Monday, a maximum of 15 people will be able to attend wedding ceremonies and receptions, though up to 30 can still attend a funeral as now. So there we go. Now, I will talk briefly about the rule of 6 because I haven't mentioned that during this coronavirus update. So now, in any indoor setting or outdoor setting, you now only need to meet up with 5 other people in a group. So there should be 6 people in a group, yourself and then 5 of your friends. So choose wisely when it comes to that, okay? And obviously you all need to keep socially distanced and stuff like that. But this is the thing. The rule of 6 was introduced on Monday the 14th of September, so earlier this month, at the time recording this video. Now, prior to that, you were allowed to have up to 30 people, indoors or outdoors. Now, I don't know when this rule was introduced. I don't know when it changed to the point where you could meet up to 30 people in a group. But, because I have always thought that you were only allowed to meet up with up to 6 people and that's it. Until they then brought in this introduction of you must now meet up with up to 6 people. But prior to that, you were allowed to meet up with up to 30 people in a group, both indoors and outdoors. I don't even know when that rule was introduced. Like, did they literally on the sly, literally just like bring it in without me knowing, without any of the members of the public knowing? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. I honestly don't. So, anyway, let's now move on and talk about watching and playing sport, because that's another lockdown measure that's been announced. So, the rule of 6, which was introduced on Monday the 14th of September, will now apply to all indoor team sports. So, Boris Johnson also said that reintroducing spectators at sporting events was not going to go ahead as planned. He said that finally we have to acknowledge that the spread of the virus is now affecting our ability to reopen business conferences, exhibitions and large sporting events. So we will not be able to do this from the 1st of October. He added these rules will be enforced by tighter penalties. The penalty for failing to wear a mask or breaking the rule of 6 will now double to £200 for a first offence. There is something else that I'm also going to talk about very shortly in this coronavirus update, which I'm going to talk about because I need to rant and vent about that too. Work from home if you can. So Boris Johnson has said people who can work from home should do so. So he has told MPs, first, we are once again asking office workers who can work from home to do so in key public services and in all professions where home working is not possible, such as construction or retail. People should continue to attend their workplaces. He added, second, from Thursday, all pubs, bars and restaurants must operate a table service only, except for takeaways. Together with all hospitality venues, they must close at 10 PM. And to help the police enforce this rule, that means alas closing, not just calling for last orders, because simplicity is paramount. Going to the pub. Pubs, bars and restaurants in England, as I just said, will be ordered to close by 10 PM each night from Thursday. So that's from, at the time of recording this video, tomorrow the 24th of September 2020. Pubs, bars and restaurants will also be restricted to table service only. So you cannot now go up to the bar. You must now order your food and your drink via table service. Customers in indoor hospitality will also have to wear face coverings, except while seated at a table to eat or drink. So that means if you are in a pub or in a restaurant from tomorrow, the 24th of September onwards, you will now need to wear a face covering when you enter the pub or restaurant and when you are walking around the pub and restaurant. If you are sat down at your seat, that's perfectly fine. You can take your face covering off. And of course, if you are eating or drinking, of course, again, take your face covering off. You don't need it on. Going to the shops and using taxis. Face coverings must be worn in taxis and private hire vehicles and by retail staff while at work. So it is now compulsory for all retail staff to wear face coverings while they are working. So the restrictions could be in place for 6 months. So Boris Johnson said that the restrictions announced could remain in place for perhaps 6 months. So this is what he told the Commons. I fervently want to avoid taking this step, as do the devolved administrations, but we will only be able to avoid it if our new measures work and our behaviour changes. We will spare no effort in developing vaccines, treatments, new forms of mass testing, but unless we palpably make progress, we should assume that the restrictions that I have announced will remain in place for perhaps 6 months. For the time being, this virus is a fact of our lives, and I must tell the House and the country that our fight against it will continue. So there we go. Boris has also warned that deaths will rise without action. So he has warned daily deaths from COVID-19 will increase unless action is taken, the Prime Minister told MPs. In the last fortnight, daily hospital admissions in England have more than doubled. Tens of thousands of daily infections in October would, as night follows day, lead to hundreds of daily deaths in November, and those numbers would continue to grow unless we act. So, and also as well on Tuesday this week, the 22nd of, Monday this week, which was the 21st September 2020, the Chief Medical and Science Advisors warned that cases of coronavirus are rising and that it could lead to 200 deaths a day if left unchallenged, which is pretty frightening, to be honest. We do not want to be back to where we were back in March, back in April. We do not want to be back to where we were. We were making such huge progress with this virus, you know. So my plea right now to every single person watching this video right now is please, please remember the following. Wash your hands, cover your face, and please make space. Keep 2 meters if you and the following person is not wearing a face covering. If you're both wearing a face covering, it's 1 meter plus. Okay? And always remember, if you're at work, or if you've used the toilet, or if you are just about to eat your lunch or dinner or breakfast, then please, please, please make sure you are washing your hands. It is absolutely vital that we all do this to stop the spread of the virus. Now, there is a couple more things that I do want to talk about. The other day I came across a news article, and it's being rumoured and speculated in the press that Boris is considering lifting the rule of 6 for 1 day only on Christmas Day. Now, I'm sorry to say this. I am really sorry to say this, but I don't think the rule of 6 should be lifted whatsoever, regardless of whether it's New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, whatever day it is that we celebrate between now and the end of this year, the rule of 6 should remain in place. Because what happens if the rule of 6 gets lifted for 24 hours? We're going to have families coming over. You know, some of those family members may have travelled far, you know, maybe from somewhere where the virus is really, you know, kicked up a notch. You know, your family member may have travelled somewhere where there's a hot spot for the virus. They might be carrying it, you know. You might be mingling with them, and then all of your family gets infected by that one person, you know. And then, exactly, literally, I do think, even if he lifted the rule for 24 hours, we're going to see a rise in cases. We're going to see a rise in hospital admissions again, you know. And who knows where we will be when it comes to Christmas. You know, we might be in a better place at Christmas. We might not be in a better place at Christmas. You know, we are now hitting the winter months here in the UK. We're going to have the seasonal flu. We're going to have the coronavirus. The cases will rise. You know, so Boris to lift the rule of 6 for one day only, Christmas Day, that is not a good move at all. You know, as much as I would love to celebrate Christmas with every single member of my family this year, and as much as you guys would probably love to celebrate Christmas with every single one of your family members this year, which could be more than 6 people in your household, but I do think that, you know, we have sacrificed so much this year. We have sacrificed so much this year that I do reckon we're going to have to sacrifice Christmas. We will have to sacrifice Christmas in order to save lives. You know? And then, who knows? We will have to sacrifice the New Year, because New Year's fireworks, like in London, where they have a massive firework display along the River Thames in London, where Big Ben is and the London Eye is, etc. All those landmarks. The fireworks there this year have been cancelled on New Year's Eve because of the pandemic. You know, there's been Christmas light switch-ons which have been cancelled this year because of the pandemic, you know. So yeah, there is so many things that have been cancelled because of the pandemic that is to do with the festive season, with the festive celebrations. So, and more things will continue to be cancelled between now and the end of the year because of the pandemic. So it is what it is. We will have to sacrifice Christmas. We will have to sacrifice our New Year just to save lives, you know. So yeah, there is that. There is one more thing that I want to talk about in today's coronavirus update, and then I will wrap the video up here. Because the other thing I want to talk about is fines. Now, it's recently been announced that if you have got COVID symptoms, and you are not self-isolating, which means you are leaving the house to do your everyday activities like going shopping, etc., etc., then you will be fined £10,000 if you are found to be having COVID symptoms and are not self-isolating. Now, don't get me wrong, it is good that the government are cracking down on this. and they are making the rules really, really tight to the point where you will have to pay a £10,000 fine for breaking the rules. But this is my question to the government here. How are the members of the public, you know, like the middle working class members of the public, supposed to pay a £10,000 fine for breaking a rule? How are they supposed to pay that? Half of the members of the public, you know, their wages a year could vary between 10,000 to 15,000 a year, you know, or 15,000 to 20,000 a year. So, you know, you asking them to pay a £10,000 fine for breaking a rule, which could cost thousands of lives, I know. Well, that could cost them technically half a year of their wages, or pretty much a year of their wages. We're not all top class working people like Boris and Matt Hancock and Michael Gove and all of those people who are probably getting thousands upon thousands a year, you know? So, yeah, set the fines to a really high price, maybe £2,000, £3,000, but to be honest with you, why not, why 10,000? That is extortionate. That is absolutely extortionate. And no one will be able to pay that at all. Anyway, so there is that. And also as well, can I also ask, how are we supposed to police people who do not self-isolate if they've got COVID symptoms? Are the police now meant to go around with a temperature gun, and everyone that they come across, they're supposed to temperature check their foreheads or inside their ears? You know? I mean, how is that even possible to police? I really don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. Anyway, so that's just my thoughts anyway on everything that's been announced so far during this coronavirus crisis over the last couple of months or last couple of weeks. So thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. Do join me on Friday this week when I've got a Super Mario 3D All-Star Collection Nintendo Switch gameplay video coming up on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Who knows if there is going to be a Series 2 of Steve's Coronavirus Update, but all I'm going to say for now is only time will tell. But from me, it's goodbye, thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next YouTube video.